Big 12 conference play is finally here. I'm Alexa Shaw with this week's Sports Report. Started off, women's volleyball opened up their Big 12 conference play in West Virginia and couldn't get it done, but they will return home to face Baylor this weekend on Saturday at the Rickle. Frog fans, come out in support as your Frogs take on the Baylor Bears. Last week, women's golf tied their third best 54-hole score in program history. At the Jim West Challenge, junior Annika Clark carded a career-low 68 and tied the school record with a 54-hole score of 210. Annika was named TCU Athlete of the Week for her performance in her hometown of the Woodlands. The hype is real around men's tennis as players were competing across the country this past weekend. Sophomore Alistair Gray was the highlight of the weekend, winning the singles and doubles title at the ITHF ITA Grass Court Invitational in Newport, Rhode Island. Gray paired up with teammate Alex Robakoff to win the doubles title on Saturday, and then on Sunday, the pair squared off against each other in the singles final, where Gray prevailed and came out on top with a 6-3, 6-3 victory. Men's and women's cross country competed at the Texas Invitational last week. The women finished third overall behind fifth and sixth place individual finishes from senior Nicole Hicks and freshman Evelyn Mandel, who finished 1.4 seconds apart. Now the top finishers for the men were senior Henry Butts and sophomore Dylan Brookmeyer. This race gave the Frogs a preview for what's to come in the 2017 Big 12 Cross Country Championships, as they're held at the same venue of Old Settlers Park. Now this weekend, cross country goes on the road to the Texas A&M Invitational. Women's soccer Big 12 home opener is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. against Kansas. Now the team is coming off of a huge 4-0 win over SFA. They concluded non-conference play with a 6-3 record behind leading goal scorer Allison Ganter. And speaking of the senior star forward, I sat down with her earlier this week. I'm joined now by Allison Ganter, senior forward on the soccer team. Now you're wrapping up non-conference play, heading into Kansas this weekend. You guys finished 6-3. What are you liking from your team so far?
I think we're focusing on starting off a little bit stronger. At the beginning, we were kind of the first half, we weren't getting there, but the second half consistently has been really strong, and that's where we found a lot of our goals, so I'm liking that for sure.
I was going to say, one thing that Coach Bell said was working on starting off the game stronger and faster and being more aggressive, and in soccer, it's the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes are so important. So is that?
Yeah, so whoever scores the first goal, that doesn't mean you'll win, but for the most part, you get a huge advantage. So if you go down, it's kind of hard to come back, and we were finding ourselves in that situation, and we were able to come back a couple of times, but the goal is really to score the first goal, and that's what we did at SFA, and it really propelled us for the rest of the game.
Now I have to ask you about that crazy double overtime thriller against Mizzou. You went up there and scored the PK to win the game. Walk me through what was going through your head at that moment when you're setting the ball down and going up to take that kick.
Yeah, so Emma got the foul, and the ball was thrown over to me, and I put it down, and the goalie came out and was trying to waste time, and even the other team, they were going across the line, so the ref had to make them go back farther. So it felt like forever, and all I could hear is everyone behind me, and then it got really quiet. In that game, it was really loud with the fans and everything, and it went silent, and then I just had to focus and make sure I hit it right. So.
In your head, do you know where you're putting that ball? Is there a certain spot you always hit your?
Yeah, they always tell you to kind of go in knowing where you're going to hit it, and I normally practice the same way every time, so having that consistency is normally good. So yeah, I knew where I was going on that one.
Now looking ahead, you guys face Kansas on Saturday. What challenges do they present?
They're definitely a really good team. They're going to be a lot more physical. The Big 12 in general is just a lot more physical than what we've seen, so just making sure we match that intensity, and then after that, just score the first goal is what we're really focusing on.
And when you look across this roster, you have players from 5 different countries from around the world. How has that kind of shaped you as not only a player, but as a person as well?
Oh, it's awesome. A lot of the things I've never known about all these different countries, and they all bring a different and unique personality to the team, and it's cool to see all the different aspects of different cultures and everything.
Allison, I appreciate you stopping and taking the time to chat with me. Frog fans, come out and support this Saturday against Kansas. Now, stay tuned, Horned Frog Nation. There's more to come with Ranthony Tejada and Coach Patterson with Brian Estridge.